I'm not sure whether this is clear. This is a cover of Javanese Quran. This is Persian. These two has most of Javanese Quran has this type of covers, and you can see middle medallion, and they have this cartouche, and this borders look like we call it itik, pulang petang. So this is border. So the Javanese Quran always has inspiration from the Persian cover, but this is quite special. This belongs to Terengganu Quran. The cover of Terengganu Quran mostly with red leather and gold. Especially they cut out the gold plates and they put it on they decorated the cover. So usually have this type of design, very type of design, but basically like this. So why we are studying this? Why we are studying Quran illumination? Because you want to see, when it comes to Islamic art, you want to see the connection Malay will have with other regions. Because if you go to any museums, any discussion, they would put Malay world outside of the Islamic world. We are not part of the Islamic discussion because they will see us as the pre-Islamic. Our influence are much in Hindu-Buddhist compared to Islamic. So they don't really discuss this so much. They would discuss about Mamluk, Ottoman, especially Ottoman, Safavid, and Mughal Empire. But ours is like, it's not very important unless there's a space for us to talk about our illumination. So I never thought that it's very interesting to study book covers until I do this project and I said, oh, now I see the Islamic art thing because you can see the knowledge transfer from outside, the inspiration comes from outside. But that doesn't mean that we forget our roots. We still implemented our roots, the Gunungan, from the Gunungan just now. The illumination just now. This is all our roots. The thing that you see on the wood carvings, the architecture, and also the tombstones spread throughout the Malay world. This is our roots. But we don't follow, we just got inspiration bit by bit, and which page should be illuminated. Like our Quran, we have 3 pages. So this is the first page. The first, middle, usually Surah Tafi, and the back. So this is how. So when it comes to art, we have link with Ottoman because of the colonization. I think when Portuguese came, Aceh request help from the Ottomans. And after they also issued during British colonization where Terengganu asked for us to look at the Ottomans to get help or to get motivation how they become anti-colonized. So this is how the spread of tughra came to the Malay world. So this is quite interesting, it's quite new, and this is 19th century textile of batik bersurat. We have one in the gallery, which got inspiration from the tughra. This is the Ottoman tughra, the signature of the Ottoman ruler. So we have a few firmans which contains all the various rulers of the Ottoman signature. And these two are usually in Sumatra or in Cirebon, batik bersurat. You can see the tughra style here, which is similar to this. And also another, pseudo style of the Ottoman tughra. So he has inspiration here. This one is an Arabic script, Ya Mujib al-Sani. So some of if you see the seals of Malay world, the seals of the ruler, most of it contains JavaScript. But there's one in our collection which is a manuscript. The ulama has similar design of the tughras. It is in the book, I did not show here. So yeah, so the Ottoman inspiration came also to the Malay world and used it for textile. Not necessarily as a signature, but as a textile. Probably because of the importance of the Ottoman to defeat the colonizer, maybe. That's why they got inspiration to, something to inspire them to protect themselves. Usually this one for the 8th year. Alright. So today we're going to see a lot of visuals. Another transmission is the calligram. Calligram is like this. It's in Arabic text or Quranic verses, but it's written in various shape. Either lion, birds. So it's everywhere in Safavid, Ottoman, Mughal, even earlier Islamic dynasties. So this is an example of the Mughal shield, and I believe this is a lion. Lion, because it invoked the bravery of the Ali bin Abi Talib, which is the son-in-law of Prophet Muhammad. So you can see this is a calligram. But it transfers also to the Malay world. We are Sunni, most Malay world are Sunni. So but because lion is not native to here, they changed it to tiger. But the script here, for example here, is written from Quranic script, Nasr min Allah, meaning like help from Allah, and speedy victory, something like that. This is from Kelantan. So you can see the shape with it. This is the crown and the body of the tiger. This is, we call it Macan Ali. So this of the royal flag of Cirebon. So you can see another element of Sayyidina Ali is the Zulfikar sword. So these two elements is protective element, meaning a strong element, how to say, to protect you from any misery, and also to show your sovereignty as a ruler, to link you to the Prophet, to link you to the Sayyidina Ali. So this is calligram examples that spread from other Islamic dynasties to the Malay world. Okay, this is quite controversial image, but I like it. So this is depiction of Prophet Muhammad on Burak. Burak, so you can see calligram just now, and now we also have this horse with a human face, we call Burak. Burak is the horse that takes our Prophet Muhammad to heaven. This is during the Isra Mi'raj event. So in Malay world, it's not easy to find depiction of Prophet Muhammad. We don't use depiction of Prophet. But in other Islamic dynasties, they use it because we have, how to say, we are a bit strict. I think when we are quite late when we receive Islam. So maybe that's why we are aware, or this thing cannot do, and we are mostly Sunni, so we have only law for that. But here you can see Prophet riding the Burak, and here you can see similar design of Burak imagined by Sumatran, textile. This is quite famous among the southern part of Philippines, or in Mindanao. The carving of Burak. There's a few examples I think one example is in ACM in Singapore. They are very good at wood carving, expressing their faith through art. This is how they express being piety towards God, and by showing carving and through art. It's not just reading Quran, but they also describe and express themselves in wood carvings and textiles. Okay. Another knowledge that transferred to the Malay world is the talisman, and you can see a lot of this. Ring of Solomon, and this is the name of the Prophet, and this is Khitmeh. Khitmeh is quite interesting because this is the dog with the 7 sleepers. It's written in the Quran of the 7th guy and sit in the cave in Surah Al-Kahfi. It's quite known in Malay world as Surah Ashabul Kahfi. All these stories is taken from the Quran, but it's transferred as talismanic later on to protect oneself, or to healing, mostly for healing and protection. So all these symbols, not just in Malay world, you can find it even in the non-Muslim places, especially this Star of Solomon and the 7th seal of Solomon here is also for protection. So they got the knowledge when they go outside and come back, or the people who come and distribute the knowledge. These two are, like I mentioned just now, the Nasr min Allah. You can see this in calligram. Here is written on the barung of southern part of Mindanao to protect themselves. And this is west, when people go Hajj, when traveling, and it's written here, Nasr min Allah. So they use Quranic verses. Certain Quranic verses are used for protection. There are certain symbols that are used for protection. So these are like 19th century or 20th century. I don't think we are practicing this anymore because we don't have the knowledge, and it's forbidden. Yeah, because in the end you just pray to God and go and travel, things like that. You put your faith to God directly. It doesn't, but this is like for psychologically, or God is closer. This is another example. This is in the Instagram. A lot of people like that dress. 100 something over, right, Faye? 1,000 over people like this on Instagram. So the tradition of talismanic shirt we can find in the Gun Empire. We call it Gun Empire, referring to the Ottomans, the Safavids, which is modern day Iran. Of course, it's much bigger than that, and also the Mughal Empire, which is India. So in Malay, This is example of Mughal talismanic dress. Usually they would wear this and then they would put arms and body armor on top of it. So you can see the Mecca here, just at the Dalail just now, the image of Dalail here. Sorry. Oh yeah, they copy this and they put it for protection. Like this. And there also a lot of magic square here, magic square, a lot of numbers and alphabet that go back to asking God for help. In the end, they use we call it ilm al-huruf, which based on the number, maybe calculation of the number and alphabet to refer back to help from Allah. You ask God for help. So in Malay we have this jimat. Jimat is a Javanese word, but in Malay it's called azimat. We have this in the gallery, in the exhibition gallery. So here you can see a lot of scribble here is all talismanic words. We call it budu. Taken from ba, wow, dalha, the Arabic word, the Arabic alphabet. So this protection, and you can see Muhammad, the prophet names, is written as mirror image. Yeah. So this is protective. You get the idea of, actually in Southeast Asia we already have protective shirt. Buddhism culture, you already have protective. This is everywhere. It's not something new. It's just that when maybe the person is Muslim, so he used the thing that he learned from the Islamic scholars who knows something about talismanic and azimat for protective purpose. If Buddhists similar dress like this, they would have this tantra or tantric symbol. This thing is like normal for Southeast Asian, so something new. The use of talismanic shirt for battle and protective. Okay, this is when I say we are Muslims, but we still didn't forget our past. The inspiration comes from here. Some of the inspiration comes from here. So in the exhibition gallery, you can see sari manok. Oh, we don't have sari manok. Sari manok is a chicken, a rooster, riding a fish. Sometimes they got fish here also, which is a legend of the Maranao people and Tausug in southern Philippines. This is color with the eyes and a mouth, which is quite cute. This is usually decorating the chandi, usually on top of the chandi, welcoming people coming in. And we have this makara with the head of with the elephant part, mouth like a crocodile, and actually the body should be like a fish. So all this mythology, these two, coming from the similar to the Hindu mythology, but this is more in the indigenous sari manok. But all are creating blessings and protection, what they believe back then. Another element that you can see even until today is the serpent, or the water serpent. We call it naga. So it's not dragon, we call it water serpent. So this is taken from the manuscripts. Movement of the dragon will determine whether you luck, whether you will die or you will be alive when you go to battle. And this is quite cute also for me. This is naga from wayang kulit. You can see the head has a Javanese style crown here. So this we call antaboga wayang kulit. The same the same structure or the same water serpent also used as royal design or royal element in the Madura kingdom, Madura Sultanate. This one you can see in the gallery later. Similar, not exactly like this. So from here, all this design, it transfers into art. It transfers into something that accepted by the faith. You don't really show this anymore because this one, it looks similar, but this already has floral design. So you tame down the pre-Hindu or pre-Islamic element into the Malay, accepted Malay world style now. So this is sari manok. This you can see the tail of the sari manok. This is been taken here from the Rutuan. Right, almost finished. So the next connection we're going to look at is the Indian subcontinent. I don't go by, the book is totally different than the presentation, so you can, the book has more things to say than this one. The Indian subcontinent are mostly basically textile trades. This is where Dr. Barbara Andaya highlighted in her article. So you can see here the Coromandel coast. This is south of Straits of Malacca. This is Aceh. So this is where they have to cross the Bay of Bengal. These are the water bodies, the Bay of Bengal, and below is the Indian Ocean, where they come here to trade. So the Coromandel coast, one of the examples that we have is the kain sembagi. This one we have in the gallery. So when it arrives, this is the kain sembagi. This is the teleport design gilded gold leaf on top of the kain sembagi. So when majority things came to Malay world, and then you starting to enhance the thing, maybe to make it, you want to make it better or nicer or look more pricey than the real price of the textile. So textile trade also important because we have barter system. We don't use coins in the early days. So for example, the Sultanate of Aceh, they would trade textile for elephants with the Coromandel coast people. This is another example of the patola, which is from Gujarat, a part of Indian subcontinent, and the rulers start using this as trousers. So they have a lot of collection of trousers using patola. So this is one piece that we have in our collection. Another notable collection is the ceramic trades. In the gallery you can find this. It goes quite famous as Aceh Swatau, but actually it's everywhere. Even though the Topkapi Palace in Turkey also have similar similar style of ninefold design dish. So you can see here, this is Jahangir seal. This is the Aceh Sultanate seal, and this is the quite famous porcelain, Chinese porcelain in Malay world. You can find it until today. People are making this, I think, in Aceh. At the Aceh Museum, they sell this type of as merchandise type of dish. You can see they are usually this middle represent the present ruler, while the rest eight rounded here represent the previous rulers. So when Aceh became a sultanate, they inspired by the Mughal. India is very close to the Malay world. When you look at the map, it's quite close. So we have a lot of you can see this is Indian continent, and Aceh is very close. There's a lot of trades going on. Definitely there's a lot of inspiration going on. So from here, the Aceh Sultanate inspired by the Mughal seal, and that's why this Swatau is very famous, or very known as the Aceh Swatau. But the text is actually not the name of the ruler. It's actually mostly praising towards gods, toward Allah. So yeah. Another move on the material culture. This had took place during colonization. The dowry box. Oh, did I just close? Right, the dowry box. Okay. The dowry box. Move on to material culture. We call it gerobok in Malay. Gerobok in Malay. So you can see this is another example, but happened to be Zanzibar chest. So how can this material came to Malay world from it due to the Indian Ocean connection? These dowry box were made actually for those who want to get married. The daughter will put all the materials here and go to the husband's house. In Malay world we have wheels, but most of the dowry box doesn't have any wheels. So this, I think, during Dutch colonization of Indonesia, most of the gerobok you can find in Indonesia, not Malay Peninsula, but they transfer here as well. They got inspiration because the Dutch colonization also, Dutch colonials also have their own dowry box. So this how inspired the making of dowry box in Indonesia. Even until now, you can find this dowry box in Indonesia. But the special thing is when they implemented the calligraphy here. This is Surah Az-Zukhruf, and they always use Islamic calligraphy. But you can see the influence of the European, and you can see the Javanese style of lotus flower. This is Javanese style of lotus flower, when you can find in the mosque and as well at the Candi. So this is how they still maintain the culture, but implement their faith as Muslim, where they put all these Quranic verses as decorative element. So this is between Malay world and India. So this, I think on this side. Okay, next we're going to go for European colonization. So we can escape this topic. Colonization is quite important topic in Malay world. So first we were invaded by Portuguese in 1511, and then Spanish invasion came to Philippines around 1565. So both are 16th century, and then the Dutch came to Banten 1596. And then of course these two important companies, BOC and EIC. EIC the English and BOC the Dutch. So all these people come in, starting to build forts and starting to deal with the rulers of the Malay world to get permission to build forts, and of course after that we have a lot of conflict going on, involve genocides and money. Okay, I want to highlight Portuguese connection because when Portuguese came to Goa, India, over there, they also produces Istingar. Istingar is a rifle in English. So Portuguese called Espigado. The production of rifles already existed earlier in Malay world, especially by the Javanese and also the Moroccan warriors. So you can see here, this is illumination by the Chinese, during the Spanish colonization of Philippines. This is Moluccas and he's holding a rifle. So when we see this, also in Malay world, production of the rifles is still going on in Sumatra, but they got inspiration to enhance the technology based on the Indo-Portuguese style of rifles. So you can see this one we have in the gallery. This style of matchlock has inspiration from the Makara design. So it has carving a flower motif from the Malay world. So rifle was very important in Sumatra during Padri War, but it also when the British found out, when the Dutch found out, they tried to control the making, also control the spread of rifles, because we want to fight the colonizers using rifles at this time. So besides that, when the Dutch came, Dutch is different than English. Dutch really came and immersed themselves into the culture. So when they came, they start eating betel nuts and betel quid. So this is one example of, we call it Dutch East Indies style of betel quid. You can see this is one more painting with a betel quid here, probably made of ivory. So in Sri Lanka, which is under Portuguese, and also in Malay world, in Indonesia, both by the Dutch, Sri Lanka and in Dutch East India, which is Indonesia, both were colonized by the Dutch. So they have this culture of eating betel quid. They would go to the church, the woman would carry, the slave would carry, one would carry a Bible, one would carry a parasol, one would carry a Dutch betel box. Here you have all the quids, all the material that you need to enjoy yourself in the church. So this is the culture that they adapted by the Indo-Europeans and also the Indo-Batavian people. Another thing I want to highlight is the colonial knowledge. When people came to Malay world, not just for spies, they also want to see the zoological material that we have. So one like Charles Darwin, and also we have Alfred Russel Wallace, who came and pay the locals to help him to find all this zoology material. But not all of them mention the people who helped them. Basically, in the end, we know the person who discovered is by the European man, but not by the collector. And those who slaughter the animal, make it a specimen. So another thing is that the knowledge that we have, this like tradition of copying manuscripts by the colonists, where they needed to send to their country to show so that the people there could learn something about the colonial territory that they have here. So that when they come to work here, they know a bit about these people. So that's why there's a lot, and they are really, really happy, especially Ruda. He's very into Malay. He could write Jawi, he could write Javanese language. Then he tried, for example, this book by Taj Asaratin, which is important Malay literature, which he published in Batavia. So Batavia was center of early Malay printings besides Singapore and Palembang and also Penang and Malacca. So here you can see the bahawa ini kitab Taj Asaratin. So here Kun Ala Kuningan. So this is in Dutch. So all these books translated, some of it printed in Batavia, some printed in Amsterdam. They transfer the knowledge to their own country so that people know, how much we already colonized this space and we got a lot of knowledge from them. So another thing I want to highlight is postcard, but I don't highlight in here, which you can get in the book. They call it colonial tourism, where from the postcard that we send to, for example, postcard from Dutch East Indies that was sent to Amsterdam, for example, shows the people, the village and everything, to show that come here if you would like, and to show how the development that they have done to the place, including mosque structure. Now we already have dome structure. Previously we don't have dome structure of the mosque. I think this one you already knew. Alright, another, because of steamship and we have like just now Prof. Sumit, Dr. Sumit talk about the travel of Hikayat Perintah Negeri Benggala, which travel to Calcutta. This one by Syair Mekah and Madinah that we have one copy, Leiden has another copy, and PNM has 2 copies of the same Syair. So in this Syair were written by Sheikh Daud from Sunur, Sumatra, Minangkabau. So he, because the language is Minangkabau, he wants to encourage people to come to do Hajj in Mecca. So here, what he experienced is something that we don't experience these days. Something because during this time, Mecca is under the Ottoman, so they have this thing we call Mahmal procession, where they travel from Damascus and Egypt. There are 2 places under the Ottomans' rule. And they travel this to bring along the kiswa, to change the kiswa. They have celebration, it's totally a celebration to change the kiswa and everything. So this have to mention, this is the Malay one, untanya, one of the poem. Untanya banyak suka membilang, tubuhnya itu berbulu panjang, seekornya unta pakaiannya emas, tempat kendaraan mangkuta. This is the mangkuta. So he has a lot with the camel. So it was a procession like this. So sorry, no reference, but I forgot to put. So you can see how it was, from Damascus, from Egypt, the 2 places meet together in Mecca and to have celebration. So it was something that we don't experience now. So the past experience during 19th century is something valuable for us to read because we just go there and pray and come back. But this is totally like celebration. Okay, I think almost finished. So the conclusion is actually there's a lot of things I want to say about the book. We have also manuscripts of people, cultivation of padi. Something that we don't practice. I don't have the initial in the book. Okay, never mind. Padi vacation, something that we don't really practice. The way we treat the padi as if the padi is a baby. To let it grow, but we ask Allah to protect the seed of the paddy to grow. So I don't have any paddies in the book. And of course, there's a lot of letters in there. There's a tradition of letters because when people migrated to Mecca, they write letter to their family in Roman, for instance, in the east coast of Malay Peninsula. So they ask for money. Sometimes they say, "Do not worry, I'm doing fine. I'm going to do Hajj this year. Please pray for me." Things like that. And also we have what else? I think that's all. I think basically the exhibition and the book is highlighting Islam, but we also highlight the interaction that we have of people going out, Malay people going out, and also the people who come in, because this whole thing is a cosmopolitan Malay world. Because we have Chinese, Indian who came much earlier, before even Batavia, before even the Dutch came, but they have Chinese came over for trades and to stay in the coastline of Borneo, for instance, in Philippines. There's a lot of tombstone that can represent what happened during this, maybe it's between 16th century to early 20th century. So basically that is all for today. Yeah, the connection exchanges. So yeah, this is Surabaya. This is where the Hadrami people came and start living here in Surabaya. So the place is actually belongs to the Indian who migrated first, and then when they moved out, the Hadrami came and take over and stay there. So become another village. It's like Penang. The first wave, of course, the Malays is there. Then the first wave, the Indian came, and then the second wave, the Chinese came. So you can see the Penang people are very different in terms of speaking, food and other things. Even this Malay language, the small island has different dialects. Just especially if you mix with Indian, you're gonna roll your tongue when you speak the word R, or you're gonna shake your head, but you look Malay, but you shake your head. So you cannot be offended because he might have Indian blood. So yeah, things like that. So basically, it's about Malay world. We're not focusing on certain places like this exhibition is about Malaysia. No, we're talking about Malay world because you cannot find exhibition. I don't think we can find exhibition focusing on Malay world as a whole. Of course, we don't have a lot of objects. We're trying to deliver as much as we can through the objects and through the writings, and also through the works by the scholars who help us with this project. So yeah, that's all from me. So